We're live.
We're live? Cool.
What's going on?
Nothing, just setting up the camera for this fucking podcast. We still are unfortunately, still having technical difficulties. That looks like shit. Trying to set this thing up since Google Hangouts kind of changed everything. So we haven't done a podcast in a while, but I guess our name is Meta Football, and we're going to be primarily casting on Tuesdays. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it. And we'll be doing like fantasy stuff and waiver wire ads, and we'll talk a little bit about that today, even though the waiver wire's passed. But yeah, how you doing, Nick? How was your week?
Doing great, Andrew. I know we got a lot to talk about. It feels like ages since we recorded our last episode. But excited to start MFT and Meta Football Tuesdays.
Yeah, absolutely. Around a million times because I'm an idiot. All right, cool. Well, we have a lot to talk about, so forgive us if we ramble, but why don't we just go ahead and kick it off with a couple of things. I'm gonna go ahead and start. As you know, I'm studying to be a PA, and I think that I'm gonna come up with a little diagnosis for the NFL and all the fans out there. All right, as you know, I'm a Redskins fan, and we're 0-2 right now in the beginning of the season. And everybody's freaking out, and Kirk Cousins is going to get ousted, and the whole staff's going to get fired, and there's mutiny in the locker room and all this bullshit. I'm so fucking tired of this. This happens all the fucking time. It is such bullshit. What season in memory could you tell me that in the first 4 weeks could you forecast anything that happened? Like who went to – go ahead.
The Chiefs started 0-5 last year.
And they won a playoff game.
They won 11 games in a row.
And I'm not bringing this up as the Redskins are going to make the playoffs or anything like that. I actually picked the Giants to win the division anyway, I think. But everybody just gets so, you lose 2 games, which is easy to do in the NFL, and everybody is just totally writing teams off. Whereas, I really don't give anything too much clout till after week 5. I mean, if you look historically, just specifically at the Redskins and other teams such as the Chiefs, as you mentioned, they get off to slow starts. Every time the Redskins make a playoffs, I think we were 3-5 or 3-6 the year in 2012 with RG3, came back, made the playoffs, should have won a playoff game. And then last year was, I think we were 3-5 or something like that. And my diagnosis is that you don't know anything that's going to happen in the NFL, and to try and forecast it, you might as well come up with what you think is going to happen and then pick exactly the opposite of that to happen, because
I don't buy it.
Go ahead.
I feel like we've learned a lot of things after 2 games.
Oh, yeah? Specifically with the Redskins or with the whole NFL?
No, just to put in what I agree with you for a large part. Like, you can no way tell the future, but I think it's a lot of fun too, so we're going to do it anyway.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's our job.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I just think that everybody, I guess, I'm diagnosing them as hypochondriacs and just too emotional. I mean, we need to be more like Patriots fans. I mean, of course, there's some things in the NFL that stay static and are predictable, like freaking the New England Patriots and the fact that they're probably going to win the Super Bowl, going 2-0 against a couple of tough teams with who the fuck is their quarterback? Garoppolo, and now it's going to be
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, at NC State. I mean, it's really interesting. But just to finish my rant, what very well could happen with the Redskins, it's going to go one of 3 ways. It's either going to be we lose against the Giants and we lose against the Browns and everybody gets fired. I don't think that's going to happen. We lose against the Giants. We beat the Browns, and, it's on to next week. It's just going to be a week-to-week thing. Or what I personally think is going to happen, because everybody doesn't think we're going to beat the Giants. We shouldn't beat the Giants. I think the Giants are a better team. However, it's a divisional game in the Meadowlands. We haven't won there in like 4, 5, 6 times. We're going to beat the Giants on Sunday, and then everybody's going to praise Kirk Cousins. And then we're going to beat the Browns, and everybody's going to be like Super Bowl, playoffs. And then we're going to lose to some team, Chicago or something like that. I mean, that's my prediction.
That's the NFL. And you know what? I want to agree with you because I feel like that's excellent.
It's so week to week. We're so fast to criticize and pretend like we know what we're talking about and get, fire people. And listening to Mike Shanahan this morning talk about Kirk Cousins, it was just awesome. I mean, he knows quarterbacks more than you and I or anybody else would ever know football players. And he was very supportive of Kirk and his future. So anyway, I'll relinquish that now to you, who I think I'll just relinquish it to you.
Yeah, we're kind of opposite ends of the emotional spectrum with our respective teams. Of course, I'm a Broncos fan, sitting at 2-0, but we're not exactly content, right? Even at 2-0, there's a lot of things to improve. And I think going back to your point, Andrew, is the thing that it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, like we love that about the NFL, and no one can really predict otherwise. But just a quick point. You and I both know that every time the whole world says the Redskins won't win a game, they win it, right? Like every time they're the overwhelming favorites, they'll blow it. So that's just Redskins football. So for all this media hype and all this like panic, you know what? I think it's just noise. And at the end of the day, the players don't listen to it. The coaches don't listen to it. And I don't necessarily feel the panic in Washington. And there's a lot of other situations where you should feel panic, Cleveland, but I don't feel the panic in Washington.
Well, I honestly think that Clevelanders don't panic anymore because they're just so used to being terrible. I mean, there's no panic, even though Hugh Jackson might have them going in the right direction. But I'm sure they all wish they got Carson Wentz in the draft. I mean, that just was baffling to me. Although stockpiling draft picks because they have needs at every position is not a bad move. But when given the opportunity. But with the Skins, I really think there was this expectation that our offense was going to be hugely successful right away. Just pick up where last year, where everything left off last year, and then we got these additions and Doxson and whatever, and the offensive line, blah blah blah. And, Kirk's going to be better in the new year. But, it takes time to get that chemistry built back when everybody's hitting at full and playing at full speed. And when other teams are scheming against you, it's not just like you come out of camp and you're ready for every look in the book. Teams are going to come out and they're going to scheme. They're going to be like, hey, look, they don't run the ball. So we're going to drop, we're going to cover with 8. We're going to cover 5 receivers with 8 people. I mean, and that. Yeah, and then Kirk's like, oh, God, what do I do? He's a calculated guy, and he's not used to really, running for first downs. That's not really in the game plan. Didn't practice that on third down. And so, without the support of a run game, it's going to take some time so that they can see what other teams are doing, and we can practice those situations. They'll be better in the red zone this week. I promise that. They'll be better converting third downs, and they will run the ball. I don't know how successfully because – the Giants' D is like 4th against the run, and it looks a lot better, which is against my bet, saying that their defense wouldn't be as cohesive because of the recent free agent acquisitions, which you can see happening in Oakland, by the way, which is another interesting team and conversation. Oakland's Sean Smith and who's that linebacker from Seattle?
Bobby Wagner?
Irwin?
Oh.
Or Wagner? It went to Oakland.
It was Bruce Irving.
Bruce Irving, that's right, not Irving. Anyway, that's obviously not working out for them, is it?
No, there's no chemistry, and the Redskins know too. You can't throw money at a problem and always expect it to pay off. Personally, I'm suspicious of the Giants' defense. I still think, let's see, they haven't gone against teams with a real offensive. I guess the Saints game, all right. Everyone's reacting like they're calling the Giants the best new defense because they stopped the New Orleans Saints.
Well, that game. Did you watch that game? Because I missed that game.
No, I was watching Red Zone at the time, so I saw like every single punt. There was no scoring plays other than the blocked field goal return for a touchdown.
Yeah, right. Janoris Jenkins. And, I find this game puzzling. And another sort of another coin in the piggy bank of the NFL's parity and unpredictability is because, you got Eli and OBJ, Sterling Shepard, and Victor Cruz and all his arsenal of weapons, like Cooks and everybody. Even if the Giants' defense is good enough to keep the Saints in line and not scoring a bunch of touchdowns, no touchdowns, I guess, what the hell happened to the Giants' offense? I mean, the Saints' defense is laughable.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, maybe like a great game plan and everything, but what the hell? Like, that they're not necessarily scaring me on defense if the Saints are shutting them down. You know what I mean?
They can't run the ball. They have huge problems, although one bad news for Redskins fans is that Victor Cruz looks like he's back in full force. Might be
why do you think that? Why? Because he scored a touchdown on a slant route?
No, not just that, but like he is looking like he has a lot of steps. He's still out there beating people one-on-one. And I think the fact that, you have Odell Beckham Jr., a.k.a. one of the best receivers in the league, and Sterling Shepard on that team, I think, teams overlook him, and he always exploits that matchup. I think he's a candidate for comeback player of the year.
I mean, I guess anybody's a candidate at this point. I haven't seen enough at anybody to give him any awards. He scored one red zone touchdown on a pick play. I saw it. I don't think their defense is who were they playing week 1?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, okay, whatever. It's the Dallas Cowboys anyway, and Morris Claiborne was covering OBJ. I'm not too worried about – I'm more worried about Sterling Shepard than Victor Cruz, but they do have 3 wide receivers. There's no doubt about it that can play ball. I'm more concerned with the Redskins because they can't stop the run. And if you can't stop the run in this league, you will not win games. Period. End of story. I mean,
the Giants can't run the ball though.
I just wish we had a defense like Denver's where we could score. If we scored 23 points, you're going to win the game. You know what I mean? That's great. And we don't have anybody that's getting immediate pressure on the ball. Nobody. My problem with our team is we don't have anybody nasty on that line. We need some nasty, jailhouse rapists. That's what we need. We need people that are going to go out there and just smell blood and want blood and want to go hurt people, man. Death, kill, death. That's what we need. and we don't have Von Miller is death, kill, death, man. He gets parallel to the ground and moves 700 miles an hour and somehow sacks the quarterback all the time. He's the best defensive player in football. He is the most game-changing defensive player. And JJ Who is my question mark. Where has JJ Watt been? Where's Jadeveon Clowney, huh? And what do you think about the Texans, by the way?
Yeah, that's it. All right, great segue. Let's talk about the Broncos. Let's talk about the Texans. The Broncos, Von Miller, undisputed best rusher in the league right now. I think the best analogy is a shark that smells blood, dude. He literally gets better as the game goes on. It's fun to watch from a Broncos perspective because all we have to do is get the lead, force them into passing situations, and we cannot be beat. Really, it's nice. It's a strategy that's worked. Talking about the Texans, they also have a great defense. Granted, they didn't get touchdowns, but the Texans, I don't know, man. I think Brock Osweiler still just tosses the ball up 50-50, way too much for my liking. Lamar Miller, where was he last week? Did nothing. So that offense is still not we'll see tonight, but I don't think that offense has shown me that, they should be feared either.
No, I mean, they have a couple of receivers. Their rookie is good. you know, they are feeding the ball to Lamar Miller 100 times a game. I think he got 30 touches. Their offensive line doesn't blow me out of the water. I mean, obviously DeAndre Hopkins is a blue star player. I mean, he scores a touchdown every week. And, he's just as good as Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham and everybody. So, I mean, that does scare me. And Brock seems to find him. And Brock seems to be playing all right. I haven't watched the entirety of the football game, so I can't really give a conclusive result. But they seem okay. I'm going to be interested to see tonight what happens. I mean, they're playing a real team, no joke team. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a couple picks, and gives the Patriots an opportunity to win on defense or special teams or something like that, because the Patriots are for real. And but I also could see Jacoby Brissett getting flustered by J.J. Watt on primetime football as well. So
yeah.
But I will never pick against the Patriots. So I'll take the Patriots tonight.
That's going to be a toss for me. Jacoby Brissett making his first NFL start. Gronk's coming back. I'm going to go with the Texans. I still like that defense. I think it's a low-scoring game, but 2017, close to the very end. But let's go ahead and change topics here. I want to try something new, Andrew. Why don't you just summarize with like a couple things you learned from last week and a couple things you're looking to see how they'll play out this coming week? So I know kind of top of your head.
Yeah. Put me on the spot. A couple things I learned last week, and a couple things that
you're looking to see how they will play out. Like, just kind of short.
Okay. Let me pull something up real quick. Just pulling up to see the games. So, well, I mean, I'll start home, and I'll start with the Skins. I'm definitely looking to see what happens. In Washington, and if we will respond to how defenses have been playing our offense, and if we will have success running the ball and in the red zone. That's one of the things. I mean, the past 2 weeks has been shit. Where we could have won games where we just didn't finish. I mean, if we finished last week, we win. So I'm really excited to see if we can get it together and maybe force some turnovers on defense and finish with touchdowns in the red zone and win a game. So that's one. Another one, I would say, will Seattle keep struggling? I know the Rams have Seattle's number, and I know Seattle's another team that starts slow. So that'll be more of something to keep an eye on throughout the season, not just next week, but they are playing another division, NFC West opponent. So it'll be an interesting game. San Francisco, what is San Francisco 2-0? No, they lost last week. They got clobbered by the Panthers. Is Carolina the best team in the NFL? That's another one.
Wait, can we stop? Wait, please, for the love of God, let me talk about this for 2 seconds, because
okay.
NFL ESPN has the official power rankings, and all the power rankings I've seen have the Panthers as a top 5 team, and they all have the Broncos as a top 5 team, even though we beat them.
But that's fine that 2 teams can be in the top 5 even though you beat them. No, most of the Broncos are in the top 5.
No, not on ESPN. We're number 6. Carolina's number 5.
Well, I don't even. I think it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, that game was played. It was a great game and won on a last-second field goal in overtime. So, I mean, I don't think you can definitively be like, oh man, the Broncos are so much better than the Panthers, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the Broncos clearly have a better defense, and we know that defense wins championships. So, but the Panthers may be a little bit more balanced. However, I would say the Broncos should be higher because they beat them. I don't know how ESPN does their fucked up power rankings. They're pieces of shit. But Carolina's a damn good football team. I mean, I'd probably put the Patriots at the top because they're winning games close games, finding a way to win with fucking third-string quarterbacks. What happens when Tom Brady comes back is all I got to say. You know what I mean? I would have Carolina in there because Kelvin Benjamin is a beast, and he is back. He's for real. I would have Broncos in there, obviously. The Giants might be in my power rankings right now, but the Cardinals are certainly there as well.
Definitely, I agree.
All right, what about you? Give me 2 things that you're looking at.
All right, so just a couple things that I learned from last week before I get to this coming week. One is that Phillip Rivers is still an elite quarterback. I think you can't really question that considering what he's doing with what he's got.
Without Keenan Allen.
Yeah, and then Danny Woodhead, of course, went down, who was a nice safety blanket. But, yeah, that's a quick thing I learned. Another thing I learned is that, God damn it, I hate to say it, but Belichick and McDaniels are hell of a coaches.
Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. There's not even a question of it. I don't care about Lombardi. I don't care about – you have Brown. I do care about them, Brown and Lombardi and the Cowboys guy, whatever his damn it name is, George Allen. All these guys. I can't think of anybody's name right now. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. Another huge storyline. I'm very proud to say this because I picked them as one of my deep playoff teams, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. They did lose AP probably for the season. I don't think that's going to hurt them very much. What's going to hurt them more is the fact that their offensive line is in shambles. But that trade from getting Sam Bradford is exactly what Norv Turner wanted, and it proved on Monday night or Sunday night against the Packers that they are legitimate. I mean, they have the second best defense in the NFL, hands down. They are for real on defense, and on offense. If Stephon Diggs stays healthy and Bradford stays healthy, and he can keep doing that, that is not only impressive, but it's dangerous.
Dude, thanks for bringing that up. I'm on the record for being low on Minnesota. I'm going to stick with that right now. I know you're feeling high and you want to say, I told you so, Nick, but at the same time, I'm confident the Packers will win that division. They're just slow. They don't have everything working on offense. Talking about the Vikings, though, oh, man, Stephon is really fun to watch. He might be one of those I don't want to say it, but he's a top 10 consideration after 2 weeks, right? Top 10 receiver by the end of the year. I would not be surprised.
I know, and I had him, I had him all last season, and he was on my radar to draft. But when Bridgewater went down, I was hesitant to draft him because I didn't know who was going to be the quarterback. So somebody else drafted him in our league, and I didn't. So I'm a little bitter about that. But that can take us in. That could take us into the fantasy talk.
Yeah, let's just real quick. Things I'm looking forward to are Cody Kessler starting for the Cleveland Browns. I think obviously they're doomed as an organization, but this is a guy they liked, and I want to see what he can do. And then I
don't know why the fuck you care about that. That's fucking retarded.
Just because I'm a fan of the game. I don't want to see. I don't want to see the Browns be terrible for eternity. It's not. I want to see the Ravens be terrible for eternity.
Well, I'm just hoping the Redskins at least win one game, and that'll probably be it.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about fantasy. Andrew, who are some of the players that you love, and who are some of the players you hate this week?
Just specifically this week?
Oh, I mean, I'm thinking this week, but you can go ahead and forecast if you want.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. So players that I love this week, I like Carson Palmer and David Johnson at Buffalo. I'm just looking at my team right now. Jordy Nelson at Detroit. That's in our game, Nick.
Oh, we're playing each other this week.
I know. I'm not that prepared on this. But you have, because the matchups are kind of weak. There's a couple good matchups. Anybody rushing the ball against Washington's probably going to have a good day. Is Arian Foster banged up, and who's starting for Miami?
No, Arian Foster is out. He's out for a couple weeks. Jay Ajayi, I think Jay Ajayi will get the most carries. But look for a sleeper for the rest of the year. Andrew, don't you do anything, is Kenyon Drake in Miami. He's someone to watch out.
I already picked him up, bro.
Oh, all right. Awesome. Anyone else you love, or do you want me to go?
I like Jordan Reed this week. I like Amari Cooper. I think I like Derek Carr. I don't like anything about Detroit. I'll tell you that much. Why don't you go ahead and go? Because I wasn't too prepared for the situation.
That's okay. No, I think I'm just gonna say games and matchups I really want to be a part of, and by that I mean I'm gonna start a lot of players in these games. I'm gonna start a lot of players from the San Diego Chargers. They're playing the Colts, and the Colts, quite frankly, they don't have anyone on defense. And you can thank the Broncos, but they'll start Andrew Bennett if he walks on the field right now.
Dude, I will so walk on that field right now.
Yeah, so Melvin Gordon, I think, has a good week. Obviously, Phillip Rivers, you're playing him. Travis Benjamin, he surprised a lot of people last week. He didn't surprise me because I played him, won some money. And then I'm probably going to play him again this week. But a sleeper there is Tyrell Williams. Let's see. What other games I really like are I'm interested to see the Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game. That's going to be an interesting one. I kind of am low on the Eagles, obviously. I don't think Ryan Matthews repeats. He's on my hate list. And I think D'Angelo Williams. Give me some more D'Angelo Williams this week. Let the train continue.
Oh, give me all the D'Angelo Williams you have. I'm gonna stay on the Melvin Gordon train. I have him in both my leagues, like you said, and he's continuing. And with Danny Woodhead out now, they don't have too many other options. I don't know what's going on with Detroit. Aren't both their little midget backs injured too?
Detroit, yeah. Amir Abdul is out, but Theo Reddick's there.
I like. I'm into slot receivers and I'm really into Jamison Crowder. I think I'm starting him against you because I have such terrible wide receivers. I lost Dante Moncrief for the season. We'll mention a couple of key injuries and talk about them. But I like Jamison Crowder. I think that a lot of teams are going to get excited about covering Djax and Jordan Reed, Pierre Garçon, and they're going to, put their nickel cornerback on Jamison Crowder, and I think he's a matchup nightmare. So I expect him to get some touchdowns and some long catches and a good quantity of catches. So he's a nice little pickup, and I'm pretty high on him.
Yeah, I think Kurt loves him, right? He scored last week. I think he's going to get more and more touches as the season rolls on. Other games, I think a lot of people will play we'll start players in the Saints and Falcons game. I think that's going to be pretty high scoring. But that's Monday Night Football. A lot of people are going to be playing Dolphin players this week. I'm playing a lot of Dolphin players this week. Ryan Tannehill. I think Ryan Tannehill.
Who are the Dolphins playing?
They're playing the Browns.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I might start the Dolphins defense.
I already got them, bud.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So if you want to, you could grab the Baltimore Ravens defense. They're playing the Jaguars. I don't know how that game will shake out.
Yeah, the Ravens are already taken. The defenses, I actually toyed with starting the Patriots defense tonight, which is kind of suspect. But Kansas City's defense is available. They're playing the Jets. I'm not sure if I would start them. But the other one that I was kind of intrigued with was starting the Rams defense against LA.
Wait, that's impossible.
You shouldn't do that?
No, you mean the Rams defense versus who?
I'm sorry. That's impossible. LA versus LA. Tampa Bay. Sorry.
Oh, that's a good – yeah. Jameis Winston's a turnover machine. And we know the only way to win games in LA is with defense. So they might score a touchdown. Who knows? That's a good pick. I like them. I'm starting them.
for sure.
Do you want to do some of your roster questions, and we'll kind of talk about a few more fantasy items here?
What's going on with Jeremy Langford, man? What's up with that?
That's a great question. I have him in one league. I think Brian Hoyer starting this week. Langford has actually performed pretty well. I think he has 10 points this week. So if that is good, if that's the best on your roster, you're going to start him. I think he's a low-end running back too. But there's a lot of players I like over him. Like Frank Gore. I'm starting Frank Gore over Langford in a league.
Man, I was in a dilemma yesterday or last week with who to start, Langford or Brandon Cooks, and I ended up starting Cooks, but they both failed. I mean, they both sucked it big time. And NFL.com's player rankings are ridiculous. I mean, the where they assess
Projection?
the score, the projected fantasy scoring. I mean, but it was kind of spot on last week. They projected Brandon Cooks to have 4.6 points. This week they project Spencer Ware to have 2.6 points. 2.6 points. What is that about?
Charles is coming back, dude. He's starting. He's looked great. Coaches want to give him the ball.
Wow. So, hey, are you sure Charles is starting?
Yep. I tried to trade for him in my other league, and the guy was like, too late, man.
Well, that's pretty obnoxious right there. What else do we got? We got, how about Matt Asiata? Have you picked him up or?
Dude, I'm all over the Matt Asiata train. I'm really hoping that I got this one right. I missed out on Jerick McKinnon on all of my leagues, but I did manage to add Asiata in 3 of them. I don't think I'm going to play him this week because they're playing the Seahawks. They're playing the Panthers. I don't like him running the ball this week, but I think long term, he's the running back to own in Minnesota. From a points perspective, obviously McKinnon's the better NFL player. But
I don't know, man. I kind of like the way he runs.
I mean, you get him down on the 10-yard line, and he'll break tackles. That's why you play him. He's going to score points.
So, okay, we did love-hate. Is there anybody you want to trade?
Yeah.
Who you want to buy or sell?
Definitely. I don't know if anyone will take him, but I'm selling Thomas Rawls, man. I have him in way too many leagues, and I'm trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, Christine Michael's kind of taking the reins there, but isn't he injured too?
I don't know. I'm not starting either one of them if I can afford it, but that's a situation I want to get out of. Hopefully that offense comes back, but I don't think that offensive line's any good, and a lot of teams are having their way with them. That's the first one.
I offered a trade Latavius Murray for Todd Gurley.
I don't think I would take that as a Latavius Murray owner. I don't know. It's a good one.
I'm the Latavius Murray owner. He has not rejected or accepted my trade yet. I would be super pumped to have Todd Gurley on my team. Just going off kind of our conversation earlier, starting off the podcast about jumping the gun on things, and I tend to do that in fantasy. So I'm actually not doing a lot of waiver wire ads as much as I think I'd usually be doing, aside from kind of streaming defenses and getting rid of my Gary Barnidge situation, which I thought was going to come back and be good for me once McNown came back and RG3 got injured, which is another.
You got rid of him?
Big story. I didn't get rid of him. No, he's on my bench. I'm starting Jacob Tamme against you, who's actually gotten more targets than any tight end in the NFL so far. So
that's a good start. I'm starting Martellus Bennett, I just realized, and that's probably not a smart play since Gronk's coming back.
I love it. I think you should keep him in, and you don't have a choice.
All right. Well, let's talk about a couple of – I can't think of any other trades I made. I offered a trade for Marvin Jones for Frank Gore, but that wasn't really exciting for either party.
I offered Dez Bryant for Allen Robinson, which got rejected, but I'm actually kind of thinking that's okay. How about Dak Prescott?
I don't like him at all for fantasy.
Not for fantasy, but in general.
How about Trevor Siemian beating 2 number 1 overall picks back-to-back for his first career 2 starts? No one's talking about that.
I don't hate the guy. I think he's got ice in his veins. He's playing really well. He's doing what he needs to do. But let's be honest. Von Miller beat those teams.
I mean, and the whole entire defense. But I get your point.
Hey, would you trade Dez Bryant for Stephon Diggs?
If I'm getting Stephon Diggs, yes.
Wow, man. I'm low on Dez right now, but I wonder if Stephon.
What, you had that trade offered to you?
No, I have Dez.
I would any trade that gives me Stephon Diggs, I'm taking.
Right. Well, let's move on. What else are we going to?
All right. I need your advice. I know this is for a league that we're not playing against each other, but I got a couple of really tough calls for roster spots this week, and I want to hear your quick thoughts.
Okay.
Deshaun Jackson in the flex, or Tajay Sharp, or Matt Asiata.
Well, I would not start Matt Asiata since they are playing Carolina. Although C.J. Anderson played really well. I think Asiata is kind of a risky pick because, I mean, he might score a touchdown, but Minnesota's got offensive line problems. Matt Khalil just went out on IR. I think they might have lost 2 offensive lines, and they hadn't been running the ball well with AP, so I don't love that. Tajay Sharp really hasn't done shit.
That's not true.
I think he has a total of like 10 fantasy points the whole season.
That is true.
Now your other option?
Deshaun Jackson or that's it.
So Deshaun Jackson is a little bit banged up. Didn't practice yesterday or today, but he is going to play in the game. He's going to be covered most likely by Janoris Jenkins or Dominic Rod, DRC. It's a risky play, but I think all of those are risky plays. And if I had to pick one out there, I'd pick Deshaun.
Me too. That's what I'm going with right now. All right, one more I got for you. Okay. All right, so by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm super high on Tevin Coleman. Like, if you can go out and add him right now, do it.
He's in my league, buddy, and I'm playing him against you.
Well, I don't even want to talk about our matchup. But another player who, Andrew, you probably have too, although you probably don't because you drafted Moncrief, is Dorsett. I think, you can buy low on him right now for the last week. Like, you're honestly a little late on buying low on Philip Dorsett. Same with Charles Sims. I don't really like him this week versus LA, but we don't know how long Martin's going to be out, 3 to 4 weeks. I think Sims is a talented guy in the pass catching game as well. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I like the Philip Dorsett thing. I like that a lot, actually. And I wanted to talk about the Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman deal. It's like so frustrating because in our league, actually, I have both of them, and it's been killing me. And they play. Who do they play? They play New Orleans on freaking Monday night. So who do I start? Do I start? Let's see this league. I have a question for you. I have David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, and Tevin Coleman.
Is this against me? Am I choosing my own fate here?
You're choosing your own fate, man, but you got to be honest because it's the podcast.
All right, I'm being honest because I'm being recorded. Of those 3, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, and Tevin Coleman. You lock in Johnson and Gordon. Definitely, you're playing.
Yeah,
those.
Yeah, so it's Latavius, Tevin, and Devontae.
Yeah, I'm picking Coleman. I think has a little bit more risk than Latavius Murray, but I think that game's a blowout. And the fact that they're going to be moving the ball so much is they're going to be throwing. And it's been Coleman who Matt Ryan's been throwing to, not Freeman so far.
That's true. That's true. All right, well, that's good. Any other things we need to talk about? I have 10% battery left on my phone.
No, I think I'm pretty good. Just one last roster question for you. Frank Gore, Jeremy Langford, Coleman, or Sims? Those are 4 running backs that are pretty close.
I am going to have to go with all right, so Tevin, you already said how much you like Tevin Coleman, so I don't think it's even that much of a question. But you have Charles Sims, who's playing LA, so I probably wouldn't start Sims against that defense. Who are the other ones?
Langford and Frank Gore.
Indy is playing San Diego. I don't hate that, but I don't love Gore. He scored kind of a lucky but amazing touchdown last week. And then you have Chicago playing the Dallas Cowboys. I'd probably take a risk and start Langford. I don't hate that. I think they need to start using him more if they want to win, because he's good. I saw that last year. So, yeah. So I'd probably go with Langford. And so, are you saying that I should not start Spencer Ware?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh wow, that's a big deal. Would you start Kenyon Drake at Miami or Jeremy Langford?
Langford. Give me Langford. Yeah, that's pretty much all my questions. I definitely have some last minute tinkering to do, but I'm sure we'll talk Sunday morning. Oh wait, one last thing. Sorry. So someone I picked up who's a sneaky pick is Cameron Artis-Payne. No one's talking about him really in terms of like starting this week because they're playing the Vikings. But Jonathan Stewart, he's going to be out for a while. And I do like Cameron Artis-Payne over Fozzie Whitaker. Just want to make sure I'm on the record for that. And Andrew, I think I lost you. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast. Again, it's Thursday, but normally we're going to try to do these every Tuesday so we can recap the week and look forward to the next week. Thanks again for watching and tuning in. We'll see you again next time.